It is Saturday, April 23rd, and this is not the first time I am doing this, but I thought we would take a pregnancy test together. It is like early in the morning. It's a Saturday, but it's 6:57. So I am taking one of the first response early results. I set my alarm early to take my basal body temperature, and after that I just like couldn't go back to sleep. So I'm gonna take one of these, and then I also have a pre-mom strip. These are really good and cheap. Like I got a huge pack of them. I don't know where the pack of those are, but I also have the ovulation strip and the digital strips. So I'm gonna do one of these. It is a lot less sensitive than the first response, so this will really show if this comes up positive. I'm gonna wait a couple minutes for that other one, but like I said, this is not the first test I've taken. This is actually the third of these because I know that I am already pregnant. That came up so fast. And the test line is now darker than the other. So here are my others. That's so weird. So on 10 DPO, the color window has like changed because obviously that's like where your pee goes, so it turns colors. Here's what my tests look like. 10 DPO, pretty light on the left. This was 12 2 days ago, and here they are compared. So you can see that the test line has gotten darker. So that is so wild, isn't it? These tests are like less than half as sensitive as this. So I'm kind of using those to track like line progression, whereas this, I'm like, I know it's gonna be positive, but it's like, how much more positive can it get, you know? I'm gonna have a baby. I'm gonna let that other test chill. Like, it's definitely showing up positive already, but it takes a while for that dye to settle and show like a really dark positive, but that line has been progressing. I have not scheduled my first doctor's appointment. I am 4 weeks today, I think. Maybe like 4 weeks and a day, or maybe 3 weeks and 6 days. Could be a little bit of variance there, but I'm thinking of making my doctor's appointment like on Monday, like calling them and seeing what they're gonna do. I've heard a lot of people say that they go in for like HCG tests, like beta tests, and then come back a couple days later to make sure that their levels are rising, but I have, like, this is my first pregnancy, so I don't know if they would bring me in for that. Like, I think they would just schedule me a normal appointment, probably like 7 weeks or so, to like check then. But it is very crazy. I'm like very nervous at this point. Like, I'm more excited than nervous, but the worries are in the back of my head because I have like, I've been learning about pregnancy and like the risks of pregnancy and miscarriage and all the different types of pregnancy and uterine things for like as long as I can remember. I've always been kind of like obsessed with pregnancy, like following along with YouTubers' pregnancies back in like 2012-ish, you know, like I was like in it. I love it. I have like always wanted to be a mom. That's always been like my biggest dream. I've never had like huge career goals. It's always like I want to be a mom and I want to have a family. And it's like really wild that like that's gonna happen really soon. I'm like nervous, like is it in the right place? Am I gonna have an ectopic pregnancy? Like, I'm still 4 weeks, things can happen. And I'm nervous, but I'm trying to be like really hopeful because like my my faith in my body has like been restored a little bit, because I was really fearful that I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant easily. Like before birth control, my periods were always really, really, really long. So typically like they averaged about 45 days, which is like getting close to double the average length. So I thought, there's no way I have like working ovaries, basically, yeah, just ovaries and uterus. And thought like the likelihood of me having PCOS is probably going to be pretty high because of that. And I got my IUD removed in, I think it was maybe like February, and I had a weird period. It seemed to me like what do they call it? More like withdrawal bleeding. After that, it was my first official cycle, and I started like tracking everything. So I started testing my LH levels, like ovulation tracking, on, I want to say it was like March 6th, and I didn't get what would be my positive, which was not like a super, super high number until I think it was like April 8th. So I tested for a full month before I got my positive, and I did not have a crazy LH spike. Like typically you want to see a ratio of 1 where the test line is as dark as the control line. The highest my ratio ever got was a 0.66. And I read a lot of things where there are just women who just don't have as high of a spike. Now, it definitely was a spike because it went from being like point 0.1 to 0.12 to gradually to 0.3, and then it was like all of a sudden 0.6 and then 0.63, and then would go back down, and then I only recently stopped testing it and it went down to like a 0.1, you know, super, super low. So it definitely was my spike, and my temperature that I've been taking every day has like confirmed that. It dipped right before, like right along the same time, and then has stayed higher. But again, like I didn't have a huge rise. Like I feel like I have a higher resting temperature where I didn't notice like a huge jump, but it definitely has been higher. I'm gonna make this my little like early video diary to look back on. I figured that I was pregnant very early because I had, I'm trying to think of when it was. I think it was like Friday the 15th. I had really bad cramping. So my husband and I were at Walmart, and I all of a sudden got like really strong cramping, and it was definitely more towards one side than the other, but close-ish to the middle. And so I was like, this is kind of strange. Like this is really early for me to be having cramps. Like when I went back through my period tracker and went prior to starting birth control, so years and years ago, I always found that I had cramps like a day or two before my period, or like on the day that my period actually started, not a week before. But that timing would line up with implantation cramping. So I already in the back of my mind was like, this is a little suspicious. Like this lines up really well for like pregnancy, not so much with my period. Haven't had any cramps since. And today is the day when I was expecting my period. No symptoms, really. My allergies are kicking my ass, but that's just because it's April and everything's blooming, and this is normal for me. It's just like beyond crazy that I am now like at the point where I've like missed my period, where I'm like definitely pregnant. It's so crazy. Like I cannot believe I'm saying that. I don't think I mentioned that I ovulated on day 45 of my cycle. That's crazy. That is super, super long. I was like, okay, sure, maybe I ovulated, but like it's still not gonna work. And it worked. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Like, as soon as you get that positive line, all of a sudden it's like, oh my God. Like, I'm actually gonna have to give birth. We have to do a million things in our home to like get a nursery ready. You should see Joe's office. That's where we're gonna put the nursery. Like, we're gonna have a nursery in our home. I'm going to have a baby. But like, his office is a nightmare. But like, that's where it has to go. And we gotta do that. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, the car that I drive, this time next year, it's gonna have a baby in it. I can't believe it. Today is Thursday, April 28th. I'm currently 4 weeks and 5 days. I'm gonna make a quick little drink and then talk to you about my workout. I've really loved making this little concoction. I put a lemonade packet. These are just Walmart ones, but I have used like, I think the Lidl or the Aldi ones. Put that in a cup, and this one that I use, this cute little like Bubba cup, fits 2 sparkling waters, and I've been using the Waterloo lemon lime and blueberry or strawberry, and it basically makes a like fruity lemonade, and it's really good because it has obviously less sugar and encourages me to drink more water. Although, whew, that packet is strong. I was drinking it a lot, like a lot of sparkling water, and I felt like it was making my bloating worse. So I stopped drinking it for a couple days, but it'll be a nice little treat today. I just worked out, which I had not been doing for a long time. I was on a little kick, like maybe this time last year. I got this random urge to start working out again, purely based on like how my body was feeling. I wasn't happy with how my body was looking or feeling. And lo and behold, I was already pregnant at the time. And like, I was talking to Joe about wanting to work out and kind of like starting to work out before getting pregnant. And Joe was like, yeah, it's probably like a, you know, good idea to go ahead and get in the routine and not like start anything when you actually get pregnant. Well, too late for that. But I think it's gonna be a little bit easier for me to continue working out because my reason is different this time, and I think that's gonna help. So like, now I know that over the next 9 months throughout the rest of this year, my body's gonna change a lot. And so I'm not like looking to necessarily stay super lean or fit. I am more so wanting to work out more to be healthier for my baby and to just be stronger. You know, I know that within the next year, I'm gonna be carrying a car seat and carrying a baby and having to reach down and pick up my baby a lot, and which is like, oh my God, that's like beyond crazy to think about. But like, there are reasons why I need to be stronger, or it would be helpful for me to be stronger. I think because that's my goal and I'm not worried about what my body looks like, it's gonna be easier for me to just be like, all right, let's go out and do a little workout. Like today I went out for, I don't know, probably about 25 minutes maybe, and I did a little bit of basically like rows, but on a cable machine. And so that definitely worked like my biceps. And then I did some deadlifts, which I really enjoy. So kind of working just your legs, butt, hamstrings, a little bit of quad work. We also have a bike in our carport, like a stationary bike. And I've enjoyed riding that even for like 5 minutes. I'm like, hey, it's better than nothing. Yesterday I did a little bit of reading. I can't find like my regular book. I was reading Joe's like, what's it called? Like We're Pregnant, First Time Book for Dads or something like that. It's basically like a pregnancy book for dads. and I was reading that because it came in the mail yesterday, and that was really nice. It was like a really good distraction while I was on the bike. I also wanted to show you my little pregnancy journal, which is so cute. Joe came home and he saw this on the table and started crying. So he is clearly the emotional one between the two of us, because I have only cried once, and it was when, I think last weekend, I went outside because Joe was working, and I decided to like write a letter to our baby. And that made me cry because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be a real human that will eventually be able to read this. Like, this is a big deal. I found this on Etsy. So darn cute, baby guns, and it's like woodland themed. This is cute, not necessarily like my #1 aesthetic, but this was the cuter one out of the two that she sold. And the reason I chose this one is because it's super basic. There are so many pregnancy journals, pregnancy books, baby books that are just like way too much, where I am never gonna be able to complete it all. And I actually want this to be like something useful, but simple. So the thing that's nice is that it starts off with some like milestones. So our first positive pregnancy test, it's kind of hard to see, but they're like slightly gray boxes that you can write the date in. So I'd write the date for that. Our first doctor's appointment, ultrasound, all of that. And then each week is a single page. They're all, I think that's Joe probably heading home. Yeah. They're all a single page. They all have the same things on them, but like slightly different for each week. So this is week 4, but it has belly measurements, current weight, cravings and aversions, symptoms. So there's like check boxes and places to fill in, milestones, just like in general for anyone. So embryo has attached to uterine wall, amniotic sac is forming, and baby might be big enough to see on an ultrasound. Doubtful. And then appointments, date and reasons, and then a space for notes. Oh, and how big the baby is. So size of a puppy seed, itsy bitsy. And it's like that for every week. So like super quick. It'll take like 3 minutes maybe to fill out. And at the end of each trimester, there is a recap. So I think this is where kind of more of the feelings will come in. So like thoughts and feelings, what I won't miss. I think that's an interesting one. So like if you get really bad nausea, you know, you'd maybe write that or whatever. Looking forward to, most memorable moment, and then a bump shot. And then at the very back, there's space for 6 ultrasound pictures with information. And then on the very, very last page, there's oh, well, gotta put that back on. There's information, or there's space for all about when your baby is actually born. All of those stats. So my thought is that I will keep this, and then instead of doing like a baby book, I think I want to get kind of like a memory box and just have things in there, because I don't necessarily need to have like every little thing written down. I'm happy enough with this. And then I'm doing weekly bump shots. I'm doing Polaroids and like digitals. So I think I'll have, you know, plenty of stuff to remember about this pregnancy. I think what I'm going to do is continue this video until my first appointment and then start the next video there. So these will probably be pretty long. It is April 30th. I am officially 5 weeks today, which is very exciting. My husband, look how like disgusting this teacup got. I don't know why. We went to cook out last night. But my husband is on a work trip. He's gonna be gone for about a week, and I am going to stay with my parents at my family's house because it is closer to work. So I don't know how I'm going to like keep this a secret for a whole entire week, but I will be strong and be good. So last night I discovered a new symptom. I mean, it's not really like a symptom, just like a body change. So Last night, I pulled up my top and it was like the biggest jump scare of life because all of a sudden my nipples were like, hello, like very, there, very there. I looked at them and I was like, and my husband was there and we were just like cracking up. I was like, oh my God, what has happened? Like it looked like literally this happened overnight. They like grew in size and became taller. And I was just like, okay then, this is frightening. Today I feel like they look slightly more normal. But yeah, that was like really horrifying. And then I was just like looking at my boobs and like, I have barely no boobs. Like, so looking at myself and seeing like actual like definition at the bottom was a big deal. My boobs have already grown. So we're like, oh my God, I'm gonna have these like bazungas at the end, which is just like hysterical to talk about. But yeah. I was not expecting the nipples to be like this loud and proud at this stage. I also just took a test. I've been doing them kind of like randomly, and this is what I got. Nice dark positive. These tests are pretty good. They're the Pregmate ones, but they're not sensitive. Like I was getting, I don't know what DPO this was. I could look in my app, but my very first test that I took was like super, super, super light. Like I can see something on it now that it's like dried. You can see like the tiniest little hint. But this was the night before I took my first response. So this was 9 DPO. And I was just like taking it because I was impatient. And I was like, Joe, I think I see a shadow. Like it was a lot more faint even than this, but at first it looked totally white. And then I was like, I think I see something. And we were both like, you know, looking at it at certain angles, being like, is there a line there? And sure enough, the next day, woke up and this was what I got. That is exciting to see. Nice, strong line. I just can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I'm gonna have a baby. And then I'm like, I'm going to have a baby. Ugh. That's really scary. I'm like right around my birthday. Whew. That's gonna be the biggest birthday ever. I'm like, I will either be 26 or freshly 27. 26, that sounds like baby age. Oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God. It's so weird. I'm here with another pregnancy update. I am now 6 weeks and 1 day, so I thought I would share with you how I felt throughout my 5th week. Well, first of all, I need to show you this dress. I ordered some things from Old Navy to kind of like grow with me. So none of it was maternity, but I kind of ordered like my size if it seemed to be stretchy or a size up in like pants because my pants now are tight. So I don't think I'm gonna be able to wear them much longer, but it is this tight bodycon dress. It's midi, but has a slit like pretty high. And it's just so cute. I got it in 3 of the colors that they have. I feel like it does not look the best in this lighting. It is definitely showing off my bloated little stomach. But I mean, also like, this is just what my stomach looks like. You know, I've never had, especially in the past like year or so, I've never had like a super, super flat stomach. Like there's a little bit of something there. From the other side. My 5th week started off a little bit nerve-wracking because I had some spotting. It wasn't really spotting, more so like, I mean, it was brown discharge. but like light brown. So typical like old blood coming out mixed with regular discharge. And that was like super, super light. Like there wasn't a lot of amount or quantity wise, and the color of it wasn't super dark, so I wasn't really concerned, because I know it's like so normal throughout like your entire pregnancy. So that only lasted like 2 days, and only in the morning did it occur, so it didn't concern me. Otherwise, I was just bloated. Like the top of my stomach just felt like if I pressed on it, I would have either the biggest burp or fart of my life come out. And I definitely was like gassier, but it just hurt a little bit to touch or press on. I'm not really feeling that today. So it just like comes in waves, different symptoms do. The other thing that I experienced was a teeny bit of nausea, but only when it had been hours since I had eaten. And luckily, eating something, even if it was like a really small snack, like little fruit snacks or something, helped like push that away. I don't know if I've mentioned that I have my first appointment scheduled. It is for May 18th after school. I'm super nervous to get my blood drawn because I've never had that done before, and it's literally like my worst fear in the world. Like I will pass out, and that's that. I'm also hoping that I can get an ultrasound before we announce to our families that we're pregnant, just for peace of mind and to have like something else to show. That's my 5 weeks. I am now 6 weeks. I took my last first response this morning, and it is nice and strong. Makes me so happy seeing that dark line. It's just crazy. And I bought some baby things today. I bought a onesie that says baby guns on it. That's a surprise for Joe. And then I bought the thing that we're gonna use to announce to his parents. So I cannot wait for those things to come in. I will check in with you probably in about a week, and then I'll start off the next vlog with my first appointment. So see you then. I am now officially 7 weeks, so I thought I would do a quick recap of week 6. Nothing too much changed. I would say I had a couple more waves of nausea, but nothing really bad. If anything, it was related to my migraines, which have gotten worse. Love it. I had a really scary one on Thursday, and I had a baby one on Tuesday, so I'm really hoping that the hormones aren't going to give me horrible migraines, because I don't want to be dealing with that. Like, other than the migraines, I've been perfectly fine this week. I don't feel nearly out of breath. I mean, my boobs feel huge, but that's been the same for a couple of weeks. My skin is definitely starting to suffer. I think that means more so girl than boy, but all of the other predictions say boy, and we think it's going to be a boy. Although I had a dream that it was a girl, so I don't know. We'll be more surprised if it's a girl than a boy, because that's what we're feeling it's going to be. But yeah, I don't know what else I was going to say about this week. It kind of just went by and wasn't a big deal. Besides the migraines, I had really no cravings, no aversions. I was a little bit more weary towards food, but only when I wasn't eating it. Like, I had no trouble eating, so that's been really good. So yeah, it's been pretty good so far. I am going to end this vlog here because my first appointment is on Wednesday, and I will pick up there. So, hope you enjoyed these first few weeks, and I'll see you in a little bit. Talk to you about the next few.